Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S S, and we're back again with another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays, and this is episode 11. So, as we come in, y'all, we'll be putting up the comments, putting up a few other things. But as y'all come in, tell me what's going on, what's the word. I appreciate it. What's up, fam? Good to see y'all up in here. Y'all let me know what's the word. I'm posting the topics for today. It's all good. Now you here. You here in effect. So we good, Sue. You good. But as we let a few more people come in and get in, y'all just let me know how y'all doing today. What's the word? What have y'all been hearing? Either words on the streets, words in the news currently going on. Throw them in the comments. Give it 30 more seconds, and then we will start the show off with the show song. And y'all culture me on that, cause I've only heard through other people. I didn't want to waste my time watching that. I just saw memes all sum it up. But we'll definitely get more into that. And y'all keep throwing them in the comments too. Appreciate that. Alright. Y'all ready? Go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, peace to anybody. Skill Gates and the serial skill.
1, 2, 3, let's get it. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? 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 What's the word, y'all? What's the word?
I got skills galore.
Good to see y'all again, family. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S S, and we're back here again with another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays. This is episode 11, y'all. Think about that, 11 episodes in. But thank you, each one of y'all coming in. Shoot, shouts out to everyone that's in the comments now. I see Jenny, I see Lyrics, I see Tsunami in the building. I see Chris. Who else I see? I see Thorough up here in the building. So appreciate y'all being in here. And today what we're getting into, we're going to be talking about current events. So we got a lot currently happening right now we can talk about. And then we talking about dedication versus complacency and how that looks. Whether that has to do with your life, other people's life, and just the world's view in general on that too. As well as we're going to talk lastly about how not to take things personally. Shouts out to the brother artist FMC in the building for my color. I see you, brother. Right. Without further ado, we jumping into this current events. So if y'all got anything current event wise that you want to speak on, you're more than welcome to join the live, as well as to throw your own things that's been going on. But let's see. Alright, so official Sue, we was talking about it just briefly about the whole presidential debate. I spoke that I didn't want to waste my time watching any of that, just knowing how it's going to be a whole train wreck of a show. It's a comedy. It's a reality TV show at this point, y'all. If you don't see it, like, come on. But so Sue says I couldn't watch more than like 7 to 10 minutes of it. It was like an argument in the middle school lunchroom. Oh my goodness. I'm not surprised. That's all I'm gonna say to that. I'm not surprised. I mean, you have one individual or one candidate who runs the Twitter with the quickness, saying things just out the rear like that, as well as been on reality TV shows a long time ago. So don't be surprised that it looks like it's so much of a game. And then you have another one that is just, I feel, is just misguided in so many ways. It really is a train wreck, and it's a big joke. It's a real big joke. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a popularity contest, and people are going to pick who they're going to pick. And we'll see where that goes. But other than that, y'all, what else? What else we got current events wise? I've mostly been steadily keeping up with the whole second wave of stimulus checks that's going on, or they're still in talks with I think it's Nancy Pelosi or a few of the House and the reps and all of them still trying to come to a consensus of how much and when that's going to happen, as well as any updates on unemployment, if they're going to add any more of that PWA addition onto those who are unemployed, and just a lot of just relief in general for the U.S. and all of its citizens. So that's mostly what I've been keeping up, at least government wise. World wise, I've been literally on the news every time I check or I see somewhere. I don't really necessarily watch the news, but I see a lot of content creators I watch on YouTube, and they do different news reports. So I've been seeing a number of different news reports that show the ugliness of what one of the guys like to call true Americans, and all of the heinous things that they do, but they have that different, that complexion for the protection, and how much stuff they can get away with versus other folks who don't have that complexion for the protection. And then I saw another news report about actually a little girl who was hit by a car, and the person who was the perpetrator who hit the car, which they still have yet to release, was within their right to not have to report the incident, or they reported the incident and they basically were free of the charges that happened. And this little girl almost could have died, but hit and run, peace out, leave. It's not, I shouldn't say it's not say normal, but it just happens. A lot of stuff do be happening, and it's crazy to see once it comes and is brought to the light. Now let's see. I don't think they are. It's been dragged out for so long, or they're gonna drop it around election time. I hear you. I mean, a lot of the seats in the House of Reps, if I'm correct, I'm not too sure if it's also the Senate, but a lot of those seats are up for grabs. Like a big majority of seats, like at least probably maybe 300 or so. So I know it's advantageous for either sides to get something going when it comes to the stimulus check or some type of aid for the U.S. citizens, just to get them some bumps and points when it comes to this election. So, Sue, I hope so. Even though as much as now I have to go on the other side of I really don't trust the government at all, it just gets to a point where I'm like, well, then what? Y'all just gonna keep playing and playing. You see how much people still blatantly, rely. I mean, we've been domesticated when it comes to being reliant on the system, and it's to a point where, yes, it's like when stuff like this happens, people have little to no bearings. You see what happens when you lose a job. Some people only have enough to survive either 1 month, 2 months, or some people once they lose the job, that's it. So it's it's all screwed up. It's all over the place when it comes to that. Get that alkaline in there. Otherwise, on that, any other things y'all have seen, heard, or talked about when it comes to current issues that are happening? Because I know last time we talked about the Breonna Taylor stuff and the whole verdict with that, but I haven't seen anything else too much within the news, because it's more so just been election time, so everyone's focused in on that. That's mostly it, y'all. But let's see. I'm popping to see if there's anything else. No. Mostly they're talking about that. That's mostly it. I'm not surprised. Yeah. And then the virus. There's always going to be a continuous thing. That's always going to be talk of whether there's spikes, when the vaccine and other stuff is coming out and they're developing it and having it, ready and set. But yeah, as of right now, those are only a few things that I've gotten to hear about when it comes to, at least in the news currently. But if y'all have any more or would love to jump on, you're more than welcome to. Keep throwing them in the comments. I appreciate everyone that's in here. So with that, we're going to go right into the next topic. And the next topic we got is dedication versus complacency. And what does that all mean? So when I actually thought about doing this topic in particular and just talking about the two in a versus scenario, it just made me think of how interchangeably these two can switch up with each other at times. Is when you think of dedication, you think of hard work, you think of putting your effort into something that you want to achieve later on down the line within your lifetime or whatever your goals may be. But you know that it's going to be a hard road. You know it's not going to be easy. But you stay true to it. You stay honest to the, people say the grind, I say the hustle. You stay true to it and you continue to give it that effort that it needs. Versus once you do get to a certain level, you become, well, I say complacent. And what I mean by the complacency is you've reached to a certain limit that you're like, okay, I got enough. I'm good. So I can just chill out and I'm just here. And that's mostly all I need. And you forget why and how you did it in the first place. And you begin to find ways to keep that reality of yours, of being complacent, where it is. And have no type of growth or change. So when I thought about these two, basically it's in the context of being very comfortable with no growth, and then this one being uncomfortable but with tremendous growth. So when I look at these two, like I said, I saw them as two halves almost as a whole coming together, because of the fact that on that road to the dedication that you're putting into something, and it gets very hard, there can be points in time where you feel like you want to just plateau and just stay right in one particular place, because you've already felt that you've achieved enough and that this is good enough. Like, I was only thinking about having this many, supporters when it came to my music, or I was only thinking about getting this higher up into my job status, or this is the highest I was going to go with my degree. And you begin to, one, be supported with the money that you got. Two, you're able to take care, your family, friends, and everybody. And three, you have a lot more financial freedom, or so just freedom in general with time, because of where you've gotten to when it came to creating that lifestyle for yourself with that dedication. And then, like I said, you plateau and you get to that point of complacency. Since you've reached all of this stuff, you're like, okay, then it's good. I'm just going to coast. There's nothing else I need to do. But that's not how life works. Or at least that's how I've come to understand that's not how life works. It continues to flow. There is a such thing of being a lifelong learner, because things inevitably change. Nothing stays the same. So if you're thinking of being complacent and just staying in one spot for the rest of your life, and I'm not talking about saying like you buy a house and that's where you're gonna end up staying, like not in that particular aspect, more so in the aspect of a growth mindset, and more so mental, and it could be as well physical, that you want to stay and you just want to be there, and that's all that you want, and that's all that you want to end up being, forgetting the fact that each and every time you go into a field or you learn about something, whether you are a social worker, whether you are a photographer, whether you're an artist, either visual or a musician, there's always going to be some new method or something new to learn. Maybe it might not be completely new to the whole world, but it's new to you, and it could be something that you can apply and continue to even help yourself widen your perspective on the profession or the life that you have chose to put yourself into. But if you ignore those signs and can just continue with just, I'm cool here, I'm coasting, that's it, there's nothing else I need to learn because I've learned everything to be done and said, so now I'm just going to just chill right here and we'll be good. Like I said, there is times where we do catch ourselves being complacent. I'm not saying it's going to be a horrible thing to be there all the time. Yes, exactly, Chris. Ebbs and flows. And yeah, I always say growth is a constant. It is. It definitely is. So like we could take it for example. Literally, that's how nature works. When we look outside into nature, when we look at any process of life, there's always a constant growth. If there's no constant growth, there's a such thing of when the waters become stagnant, they become dirty, they be looking nasty. Or the same thing with flowers, after a certain, if not a certain season, or if you don't continue to give the flowers what it needs, which the water and the sun and stuff, that those are symbols of growth, then what happens to the flower? Ends up withering, or it dies. Or if not, it survives as long as it can, just coasting, and then after that, that's it. So when thinking of dedication versus complacency, you want to keep in mind that dedication, it is something, it's a skill that it takes time to hone. And that comes with the ups and downs. That comes with the failure and successes. But it also helps grow the mindset to know that, as y'all were all saying, that there's always going to be something constantly new that I'm learning or constantly going through. And even when it gets hard and tough, at the end of the day, I have to remind myself why. Why am I dedicated to this particular field? Why am I dedicated to this particular lifestyle? Why am I willing to go this far for it? And as you remind yourself of the why, and also know people in your corner and have that support, we always talk about it, a support system, it makes you staying dedicated a lot more easier, especially when you're still working on trying to be self-disciplined. So accountability is also a beautiful thing when it comes along with that. Versus complacency is, after a while, it almost feels you get to a certain level of entitlement. As in, since now I've gotten to this space, I have all this knowledge that I have, and I'm able to work and do a lot more with what I've learned, this is what I'm expected to get. This is what you're going to give me. And guess what? If you're telling me that I need to learn some more stuff so that I can continue to get more, I'm already good on what I got. So you have to give me exactly what I deserve because I'm already put in all the work. There's no need for me to continue to keep putting in no more work because I already know everything that we need. And you can see how the two different mindsets very competing. It really comes down to a fixed mindset and a growth mindset in those particular points. But to just keep that in mind, just know that it really is on you. And there are going to be times where you feel you're losing the dedication to something, you feeling you're losing the drive to something, and you just want to settle for this is it. And if it happens, the main thing is being aware of that and knowing that, okay, if I'm gonna coast here for a few more days, few more months, whatever it may so be, after I've done that and I've gotten up the energy enough, we got to keep moving forward. But it's all up here. It's all up here. But yeah, y'all. Tell me, how y'all feeling? What are your thoughts on dedication versus complacency? And like I said, you're all more than welcome to jump in and talk with me via live, because that what makes at least the flow for me. And I know I'm being a little selfish, but the flow for me, back and forth. So if you want to, anybody, more than welcome to join. If not, just keep interacting like you guys are doing, like you're all doing in the comments. I appreciate that. Before we jump into the next and the last topic, does anybody have like a specific topic in mind that they just wanted to just throw in to add on top of what we're having, if it even applies? Playing some Marcus D in the background. Shouts out.
Hey.
Hey, Chris.
Great.
How you doing? Welcome again. So what's the word Wednesdays? I appreciate you always being in here.
I'm like, you guys are gonna get sick of me. Like, oh, it's her again.
Oh no, it's all good.
I wanted to comment
So what's the word?
The word is growth. That's the word. As I walk on this path and I learn from experience, growth is the main priority. Personal growth. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on, I liked what you were saying on the differences between complacency and dedication. I never looked at dedication as a skill set before, so that was like an interesting twist of perspective for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. How do you learn then? What are the tools you need to acquire that? What are the tools or the stepping stones to acquire it and implement it as a skill set? Then what is the training like?
For dedication. I love it.
Yeah, to gain that. I'm asking you.
Yeah. No, like, so when I thought of saying it, when dedication is really a skill, I feel it falls in line with basically the whole thing with like being disciplined, and how once you're able to do that, like you develop that skill of being dedicated to something, like as in you're gonna either you continue to see it through as you're as you're moving forward. So when it comes to ways to build that up, definitely I would say one thing to practice on doing is first, one, you want to be aware of what is it that you really want to do most in life, or something that you really want to put time towards. So you got to be able to identify that, because we just can't be going around just be dedicated to be dedicated, just like dedicated to what? That's what the question's going to be. He's like, oh yeah, man, I'm so dedicated. Okay, dedicated to what? Which you can be dedicated to your bed. You know, you can be dedicated to a number of different things. But you got to be able to know what is it that you're dedicated towards. Once you're able to identify what you're dedicated towards, then the next part is, you know, what are you going to use to help you? So basically, again, we talk about getting the tools, like you were saying, and like what you would need. So, for example, say that you're dedicated to creating an online store for a product that you want to end up selling. And you know that's what you want to dedicate your time and things to get done. So now you want to figure out, okay, how am I going to do that? First thing about that is doing your research. So scaling out some time throughout the strength or week, whatever you want to call it, and you be like, okay, for these few times out of the week or day, I'm gonna take 5 minutes to do some research or 10 minutes to do some research on finding a host domain or what is it, or looking up videos on how to create an online website. And you do your research consistently. On top of that, if you want to add in, like I said, there's a point of also accountability.
Right.
You can find that one person or maybe some one activity that you might want to spoil yourself with. I know we're not a fan too much of doing all the extrinsic like motivational stuff, but in a sense, it helps to build the connection in your mind to the activity. So if you can find a way to also support or get something that can help support you continuing to, you know, look up that time to see different videos or different articles on how to create a online website.
Right.
That's another tool in there. So being aware of what you want to dedicate your time to. 2 is finding those tools and necessary things that you need to do it. So in this particular case, carving out time, basically making a schedule, carving out time in some day throughout the week for strength. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna dedicate this 5 minutes, or even sometimes it can be 1 minute. Like as long as it's something that you're slowly pushing yourself towards accomplishing and getting to, then that's where the dedication starts to build. But that's why I was saying more so you want to do it towards something that you know that you want to put that time and effort towards, because that's where you can quickly lose motivation for any little small thing, especially if you are not 100% in it. You're not really investing in wanting to be in it.
Right.
And then the third thing I would say to help with that dedication too is to also take time to step back and look at how much progress you made and give yourself a pat on the back.
Okay.
Because this dude, we laughing over here. What's up, Freddie? But because there's so many times where, and I know I've done it a number of times too, is like you continue through the process of creating something and making something, and you may feel unmotivated at a time and you just say forget it. But as you're creating and you're in that process, like you should backtrack and look, and you see how, wow, actually within me creating this whole cookbook, and I'm using so many different examples, but example of cookbook, of me making this cookbook that I want to share to everybody, I actually have already 6 recipes. I mean, that's better than me not having any recipes at all and just be like, forget it, I don't want to create the book anymore. But I would say that's the third thing too, is like always taking the time to step back and really give yourself a shout out for continuing.
Sorry, I'm still here.
Back?
So
Are we back?
Was I frozen?
No, I'm Nah, some notification on my phone. I don't like when it happens, and it's like at the top of my screen, and then literally I try to scroll it up, and I pop out.
No, I thought I was frozen again.
Nah, yeah, Freddie, just read for a minute. Like, bro, dude, well, Freddie, we can talk after, but no. But yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just checking to make sure I wasn't frozen. But no,
okay.
So reflection is key.
Yes.
So I don't know. That's just something I'm gonna sit on tonight because I never thought of dedication as a skill set. I thought of it like as an attribute, but like an actual skill, I never saw it like that. So that's something for reflection.
I mean, like I said, this is looking at the end of the day. For anybody listening and watching, these are all just my own opinions and perspectives. So I can also be completely wrong.
No,
it's
you're
just,
not wrong.
I know for
sense.
myself, it's just the way that I move about with certain things. This is how I pick up and see how things can be. Because a lot of people aren't going to be dedicated. There's not people who are able, not saying they're not able to, but it's very hard sometimes for some people to even try going about being that. So that's why I said that you can make it more so a skill, but then at the same time, you can also see it being an attribute or a trait to somebody because that's how you can be described as being dedicated. But then also, you know, that's why I say it can also in turn for me, it look like it can be a skill because for you to be really good at something, you also have to dedicate that time. So basically being able to say that I can do this because I did it through dedication. And that's a skill for me. It's like, give me anything that's in front of me, I can take my time, be able to keep pushing forward with it, and boom, that's how I continue to be dedicated. So, I mean, that's why literally sometimes these play on words with attributes, skills, skill sets, traits, all of this other stuff you want to use to describe, like it could all be interchangeable. But it's just, once again, it's the perspective of how you look at it. And if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, look, you added something to be like, nah, dedication is not a skill for me, bro. You are completely wrong. Nah, like, and that's fine. We just sparking, you know, the mind. That's all we doing. That's all this is about. This platform is about. And connect.
Yeah, that's why I just brought up, like, I've never saw it that way, so it just kind of twisted.
But what else? What else do you have in mind?
Oh no, are we frozen?
I see nothing.
Do I have in mind?
Now you're back.
I don't have anything in mind right now.
Okay. But if you do, just know. You're fine.
I have nothing really in mind. That was just cool. I just wanted to comment.
No, that's definitely fine.
Go a little further. Dedication as a skill set. That's pretty dope. So I'm gonna be thinking on that for a while. That's a nice little reflection. But other than that, yeah, I'll let you get back to your show. Let somebody else hop back in.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, like I said, thank you so much. Always be holding down. So appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll catch you. Yeah, y'all. Okay, see, I knew it. I don't know if anybody else has been having issues, but I swear, when I do put one person on, like, then my screen starts acting weird. It starts trying to inch up. So now how y'all might be seeing me, I see me completely different. But that's the side of the story. Now we're jumping into the last topic for the show. And the last topic that we have is now how to not take things personally. Now, when I thought about this topic, and anybody could come and jump into, but when I thought about this topic, shouts out to Rayzilla, I really more so I got inspiration of this topic from, of course, the book. If you haven't heard about it, a few of y'all probably know about it, but the book is called The Four Agreements. And this one in particular, if I remember correctly, this is the second agreement, which is saying not to take things personally. So as I was just speaking this up, I really wanted to touch on this because I have a few examples that I wanted to really share. Sorry, my bad. If it's not, I'm gonna keep with Ray. My bad. Like the way it's looking, it looked like Godzilla, my G, but hey, my bad. So I had a few experiences, especially these past few days when it came to this idea of, not taking things personally. And I wanted to share that, and then we unpack it even a little bit more. What does that really mean? So the past couple of days, there was an instance where I went and I actually worked out with my cousin. My cousin, he does boxing workouts, as well as this dude is just an all around just dope person. And I went to go work out over at his spot that he has, and it's called three round boxing. So if you're interested, I can also plug you with that too. So dang. But as I was there, I got to do my workout. We sat there. We got to just really have good convos. I got to meet his girlfriend and everything. And as we finished up and we were done and I was leaving, I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm actually in the area right now where my auntie, my uncle is. I haven't seen them in a while. Let me go just take a drive over there. So as I was doing that, I took a drive. I got to this spot. And then I went to go proceed, was knocking on the door. I know I heard sounds and I heard, TV and everything going on. So I'm like, okay, somebody's home. Plus the cars are there. So I'm knocking on the door, not getting any responses. I'm already been there for about 4 or 5 minutes. So I was like, no, let me call. I called both of the phones, my auntie and my uncle. Nobody answers. And as I'm doing that, like, I'm wondering, like, dang, what's really going on? Like, did I do something? Like, is there a reason why nobody's responding back to me? Like, what's up with that? So then it got to a point where I was like, dang, you know what? I might just have to catch them another time. Let me just go back, get in the car. But as I was getting in the car, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Like, there might be something else going on that I don't know. Don't just be so quick to jump to conclusions and be like, oh yeah, they just ignored you on purpose just because. There's a number of things. Like, one, it was a surprise visit. So like, they didn't know, was I even expecting I was here? So like, that's another thing. Two, it could have been a thing that they might have been asleep, or they might have been having something going on. Like, I don't, you don't particularly know because you can't hear it. And plus, they do not have a ring bell or a doorbell. And then three, it's that, there's not necessarily an issue that might even be there that you're creating just out of nowhere. So as I was driving, I'm just already just thinking in my head, I'm like, you know what? It's like, there's no need for me to take that personally because you don't know what's going on. Just chill. You're good. And it's just like, all right, let's keep it moving. Dang, let me see this fool. I'm going to continue the story. It said, raising the driver through your hood, bumping J Dilla, color skin tone, same as vanilla. Always been about the rhythm. It's about the skrilla. This dude, I swear, okay, you busting out in there. Hey, Ray, take it. If you want Ray Zilla, like, there you go, my G. That's all you. But that was just one example of thinking of not taking things personally. What's good, my G? Fred Words in the building, y'all. What's the word?
What's up, A.D.V.I.S.S? What up, Ray Zilla?
He said it wasn't Zilla. I messed up on it.
Nah, I think you didn't mess up. I think that's a sick guy's name.
God bless me the name. All right, G, what's the word?
Man.
Tell me what's going on.
Personal. personnel,
Mm.
personal, personal. Check it out. I think we're like, you gotta ask yourself, like, or not even ask yourself. You just have to understand, like, the world doesn't revolve around me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was hearing your story. I was like, damn. Imagine you had left. Like, oh, my family, like, they didn't fucking answer me. Like, man, it's fucked up. Like, and next time you see them, like, you're just kind of angry and they're like, yo, what's up, this guy?
Yeah.
And then like, and then what if they take it personal? Like, oh, he's being like that to me. Like, and bro, it was because of nothing.
Exactly.
It was because of nothing.
Exactly.
It was because this idea you created in your head, and then one that they created in theirs,
Yeah.
and it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
Hey,
bro.
but that Four Agreements book, man, like,
It's fire, bro.
that shit woke me up to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you think you know. Like, that's why I always repeat this. Like, you think you know what's up, but you don't.
Exactly.
And like, for example, like, I feel like there's certain concepts, like, one might believe they have figured out
Mm-hmm.
until you really figure them out, and until you really, like, holy fucking shit, like, until it really, like, makes sense in your mind, and you really start connecting past experiences
Mm-hmm.
that were out of a result that was bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like when I opened up my eyes to shit like that, I like looked back at my life and I was like, damn, like, I'm pretty sure a bunch of these moments were like made up.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, they weren't even real. Like, I mean, they were real, but like, it didn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? It didn't have to be that way. And I think if it's not from that book, it's from other things where, like, I think knowledge of like you know, the world and like how people behave and think.
Yes.
Once you really recognize a lot of shit, it saves you from unnecessary drama. You know?
Yes.
It saves you from not having to experience something you don't have to experience at all. You know, things that are like energy draining, things that are
Yes.
negative. You know.
Yes.
But yeah, man, like,
Yeah.
nothing that anybody ever does, says, or whatever is because of you.
Exactly.
It's because of them and their own projection, their own reality, their own dream. How that's how the book puts it.
Exactly.
It's fucking crazy. It's super crazy. And me and my homie the other day we were talking about how even attitude is subjective.
Yes.
You know, and also I feel like the way you perceive that as attitude is because of you.
Yes.
For example, like let's say in a workplace, you know, you and your coworker are doing your job,
Mm-hmm.
and one of you is not doing your job,
So, Marissa.
and you're hold up, Marissa, and then like your boss comes in the room, and he says something.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a personal thing. It wasn't for nobody. He just said something that could have been easily as anything, bro. Anything. It could have been something, whatever. Now, one of you, like, oh, cool, for sure. You keep doing your job. And the other one is like, fuck, like damn, like, did he notice, or is he tripping on me? Am I going to get fired? Am I like, because, yeah, bro, you know you're fucking up. You know you're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to get at?
Yes.
Like, you know that you're in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, therefore, you perceive that in that way.
Yep.
And the other dude, like, heard the same shit, but in his mind, he's like, well, I'm doing my job. I'm doing the right thing, right? I'm okay. Like, I'm chilling. I'm being honest, whatever. You're not tripping on what that person said.
Yeah.
And, like, but the feelings that you guys are both in the same space, but you guys are having a whole different experience, whole different emotion. And it's a reflection of who you are.
Yes.
And I don't know, bro. Like, there was one time I was fucking faded, and I was at work, and I saw it. Like, I saw what just happened,
Mm-hmm.
and like me, like being in a different, like, elevated state, I was like, holy fucking shit, bro. Like, that's what it is. Okay, someone came in, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then like someone left. I was a patient,
Yeah.
and then I think the patient told me, oh, have a good day, right? Or someone just said, oh, have a nice day or whatever. And I was like, oh, cool, like, right, like, you too, you know. It was nothing major, like, oh, have a good day, cool.
Yeah.
And the dude in front of me is like, he like kind of like gets up. He's like, yo, you heard that shit? Like want me to go check that for you? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? He said, nah, this fool, he just fucking like gave you like some smack, like some attitude. I was like, He's like, you didn't hear how he said it? He's like the way he said. I'm like, how the way he said it? I'm like, what do you mean? He told me have a good day. He's like, nah, bro. Like he said, like have a good day. Like he was trying to like tell me like that this fool pretty much was being a smartass to me or give me attitude.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like I remember being high. I remember being like, what the fuck, like, oh shit, like I just noticed it. Like I saw it firsthand. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes.
I'm like, and I realized like I'm fucking chilling, bro. This guy is just a patient. I don't even think I knew him. Like it was just like I don't give a fuck. Like have a good day, cool, thanks. Now this guy, like he was probably having a rough day. He probably is. You know what I mean? Whatever he's going through, but out of his own like reflection,
yeah,
he perceived that as disrespect. And I feel like a lot of times, like when you take shit personal, like I'm telling you, bro, you put yourself in some shit that you don't even have to be putting yourself into, dog. But check this out. Let's say he did go tell him something. Let's say he went out of his way to go check that guy. Now, let's say the guy did mean it in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't affect me at all.
Exactly.
It affected this guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy goes, checks him, and then they get into a fight. And it's like, bro, first of all, he didn't even tell it to you. And whether he did or not, those are just words, man. Yep. He didn't come up to your face and disrespect you. He just said let that be his own trip. Let him stay with that. And that's what the book talks about too, right? Speaking with integrity and with what's that word? Without sin.
Be impeccable with
impeccable, exactly. Mm-hmm. So that was a time when I had already read that book and like I kind of saw how it played out. Like his words didn't affect me as much as they affected him. Yeah. And for what reason? We're both human. We're both in the same space. We both heard the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's not about me. It's not about that guy. It was about him.
Yep.
You know, he took it personal for no reason. You know what I mean? Because there's some things like, yeah, you take personal because they're personal. Yeah. There's like facts. But then there's some times where it's not a fact. It's more of a myth, a fairy tale. Like, are you going to fucking
false evidence
dive into a fairy tale? Or are you going to know, like, yo, this is a fairy tale? Like, why am I exactly? So it's like, I noticed that shit, bro. People put themselves in situations that they don't have to put themselves into, and it's because the way they are, you know? Yeah. It's crazy.
And I mean, that's why it's always good to be able to check yourself and also be aware of that, because of the fact that, bro, there's going to be times where you do feel a certain way on a day. You might, you know, and that's what like feelings are for. Feelings, those are different little antennas and little notes to let you know something in you is not going right, or you know, it's just not, you're not there where you need to be, either mentally or physically or whatever you want to say, even spiritually. So when somebody comes and they're on a different frequency and they say something that throws you off, that possibly normally doesn't throw you off, like, you're going to be more susceptible to respond to it, even though it has nothing to do with you, but it's because of the fact that you responded to it because it was something, you know, vibrational, that it just affected you so much that you had to respond to it, which then later on, bro, that starts to impact, one, how you feel, two, how you look, and three, how you move as a person, because of the fact that that situation triggered something in you that you necessarily didn't want to get into, but you got into it. So now it's like you have to step back and be like, why did I even get myself in that situation in the first place?
Yeah, like what's that? It's like karma, right? What's that? So like what I've noticed about karma, and as far as like what at least how we perceive it out here in the West Coast,
yeah.
I feel like the mainstream version of karma is do good things and good things will happen to you. I think that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And it is. It's like do good things and good things. What kind of world is that? Like you're doing good things because good things are happening to you. Let's all do good things. It's not even that. You know, that's like a weird way to like that. That's a weird way for it to be seen. But people believe it. Now, the true version of karma, and what I realized is that, okay, this is cool. If you know it, like, let me know what's up. I'm just paraphrasing, but it says that pretty much in a rainy day,
okay,
your good karma acts as an umbrella. And so what I get from that, and what I get from like karma, is that if you are good, even if bad things happen to you, bad things come your way, you're good. Yeah, you're good, bro. So the way you handle situations, the way you even perceive them, is in a good, positive way.
Yeah.
Now you have bad karma, for example, like that story of right now, like an example of like in a workplace where your boss comes and tells both of you guys the same shit,
Yeah.
but your bad karma perceived that in a negative way.
Yeah.
When the other dude was doing good, so he perceived it in a positive way.
Yes.
And I've seen that. I've seen it like little times. I get like little I'm just like, whoa, like that's like that just happened right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can tell, you know. And
It's a
it's
soul
fucking it's
tax.
kind of scary.
Okay,
Like
Chris.
whoa, like it's a trip when you become aware of shit like that because you see it more often. Like
Mm-hmm.
a soul tax. That's what it's called.
A soul
That's a trip.
tax.
But whoa, it's
Yeah, and
weird.
it
It's
comes.
super
Yeah, it
weird. But
becomes taxing on the soul for you because you're going through and doing all of that, man. Because that
yeah, man.
it comes. Yeah, it comes to a point, man. I know. The brother who was in here earlier was talking about, his ego and having to make sure he keeps that in check. Because I feel, bro, that's a huge thing that comes to it. Is because of the fact that you have to literally respond, and you think you have to do these things because too, bro, in the Western society that we in too, bro, we're very individualistic, so we're gonna be
Yeah,
taking things on an individual level. So and I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing, but to a certain extent, if you like, I would just definitely say once again, always things in moderation is knowing like, dang, if I'm really very individualistic, you know and I keep always confronting some type of issue going on, and if it's not what I like and I just keep confronting it, guess what? There's going to be even more and more and more and more that's going to keep happening in life. So what am I going to keep doing? I'm going to keep going to each situation with that same type of energy and keep trying to confront it. And like what Chris was saying, that becomes taxing to the soul. It's like, that's not what the people are even out here. Maybe that's not their intention to be doing that. So it's like no
yeah,
reason for you to keep
yeah,
trying to go fight millions of different battles and knowing that the fact that like it didn't even start with you, but you made it about you.
yeah, man. That's funny that you said that. So like when you make it about you, it's gonna be about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like when you're gonna go out of your way to make this about you. All right, cool, man. Now the spotlight's on you. Like you know what I mean? I feel like it's cause and effect. It's
Yeah,
cause and effect.
it
Like
causes an effect
um,
because you caused it to be an effect.
yeah, and I feel like I feel like so you're a soul,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if you don't keep your ego on check, it'll keep you on check in a way where like I don't know, because sometimes like even me, I find myself I find like that side of myself coming back and like kind of like I, I know I recognize it as a result of competition
Mm.
as far as like being another artist out here in the same scene as many other artists.
Yeah.
But then like okay, for example, this is what I'm trying to get at. There's this dude out here and he like throws shows and he's an organizer too, and he's a um from what I'm realizing now, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
He just when he's out here, he acts like he's like Mr. Shot Caller and shit.
Mm.
So that's like we would kind of bump heads, and there's things that he would say, and then things that I would like snap back on, and I never knew am I cool with this fool, but you recognize it like yo, it's all ego. Like I'm talking shit, like he's talking his shit too, like, and it's like so one day like I feel like depending on how you want to kick shit, like as
Yeah.
far as the way you want to behave out here. So me, I was like, man, fuck all that shit. So I kind of set my ego aside, and I was like, you know what, man? Honestly, I see what you're doing. I've heard a lot about you, and much respect.
Yeah.
And he looks at me, he's like, and that was me being honest. I really feel that way. He looks at me, he said, hey, man, like, he said some shit like somebody, like, nobody has ever told me that in a minute or some shit. Like, you know, like, I appreciate you recognizing type of shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, for sure. And then now it's like, now it's a different type of talk when we see each other. And it's like, it took one of us to separate the ego
Yep.
to show like our true self as far as like, you know what I mean? Because anybody, it's not hard to smell bullshit. You come out here faking and shit,
Yeah.
you're gonna fool a couple people, but the real recognize real.
Yep.
That means that like the real cats are gonna see right through you, you know?
Yep.
And it's like I feel like he respected and he understood. ¿Qué pasa, buenas noches? Provecho. And yeah, man, I just recognize shit like that.
Where's you at, my G?
I'm just on my break.
Oh, okay.
There's a North Gate right there.
Okay.
I just got a taco right here. But I work right here, so it's like pretty cool.
That's what's up.
But yeah, man, I feel like once you recognize shit like that, it'll save you from unnecessary drama.
Yes.
Like, honestly, man, people really do be walking out here like some fucking drama queens.
Mm.
They do. It's all about me. It's like the other day we were making fun of my homie. Like he was on here like not to talk shit, but I'm gonna just say it just so you know what I'm talking about. Like the whole keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we're counting on my homie. We're like, keeping up with the deal. That's his name. Like, like not to be talking shit, but we're like, we said that it's like like jokes. They contain real shit. That's what makes them funny.
Yes.
So like, there was our way of saying like, bro, you're making all this about you, bro, and it's like, you want your own reality TV show or what,
Mm.
And that's how it is, man. Like, I don't know, like, it's like take the fucking spotlight off yourself, like learn to like just be behind the scenes, maneuver like quicker and easier. Like you're over here putting obstacles in front of you, like for real. That's what it really is,
Yeah.
Anyways, like if you were to come out here and tell some of these homies,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me. It's like cars passing by.
Are you good? I can hear you.
If you were out here and you were to tell some of these homies, or even just me, anybody, hey, don't be taking shit personal. Fucking 9 times out of 10, they just took that personal.
That person. Yep.
They just took that personal.
Yeah.
And that's fucking crazy, but that's how it is. And like, so I just realized, man, there's some people that you're gonna want to help, but they gotta want to help themselves,
Yes.
And that the whole thing of taking it personal, it's crazy, man. It's like, it's fucking crazy, especially after you've been taking shit personal your whole fucking life.
Yep. If it's been a behavior like that, yes, man, it's very hard to break. Also, when we speak of the different parts of the brain too, our what we call our subconscious or our unconscious part of our brain, it sometimes isn't able to tell the difference between certain words and certain realities. So sometimes it can also misinterpret what you're trying to say, like the opposite of. So if you put a word like "not" in front of it, like said, "I'm not rich," or you say that "I'm not poor" or "I'm not this," sometimes it'll just register the word after it. It'll just be like, okay, so rich. So let me see what that's about. It doesn't take in consideration the "not," which is the negative, part of that. So when you was telling people, don't take it personally, guess what? Unfortunately, part of that, literally, you already was like, oh, putting it not. I just heard personally. Wait, so now take it personal? Like, that's not even what I was saying. It's like you've taking it personal.
Oh, you telling me what to do?
Yeah.
You telling me what to do?
Exactly.
You telling me what to do?
Chris, can you hear me now?
Bro, it's fucking hilarious. But, right, this is Word Wednesday.
Yep.
I'm Fred Word.
Yes.
There is a way to use your words.
Yes.
There is a way to talk to people, and for example, like, you know what's up, but notice the way that you talk to your homies, to your close friends.
Yes.
It's very different from how you talk to your mom, to your parents, to your family, and to your coworkers. Like, there's a way to behave. There's a way to do things. The word behave is funny. I was thinking about it the other day. There's a way you have to be, right?
Yep.
It just is what it is. I think it's a technique. It really is. Somebody told me once when I was talking about this, we're like, well, isn't that like being fake? I'm like, nah, bro. If anything, that's being real as fuck.
Yep.
Because you took the time to understand and figure out the relationships you have and know that there's a way to talk to that person.
Exactly.
That's how I see it.
No, for sure.
And it makes things easier, bro. It makes things easier. It makes life. It's more fulfilling when the truth is being spoken. Because what's the point of just every relationship you have in your life is filled with a bunch of lies? You can't. The communication is so fucked up. You can't really speak your mind and keep it real, bro. Like, you talk about people, you hear keep it real a lot. How much people are really keeping it real? Technique says that. Let's talk about keep it real. Can't even keep it real with their wife. Like, whoa, bro, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it comes
Exactly.
down to that. It comes down to that.
All right, but hey, man,
So,
I know you're gonna keep popping on it. We got 20 seconds left. So this concludes y'all another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays. This has been your host Advis with the brother Freddie, and we'll see you next time for another episode. So stay tuned, stay dedicated,